Hello amigos, this is David with Raíces Vivas and Studio Casillas, and today is going to be a very special day because we will be chatting with some really good friends, starting with Mace Elias and then Arturo Carrillo. So for those who doesn't know me, well, hello, it's David Casillas. I do work for a nonprofit that we promote practice and as well as kind of involved in all the sustainable ranching and regenerative agriculture. But then, beside of the soil and land, another passion of mine is design and to be hand worker. I love to do crafts with my hands. So I do Studio Casillas, which is copper goods, leather goods, and just advocate as for good design all around. So it's my short intro. Mace, tell them who you are.
My name is Mace Elias, and I am a stuntman. I've worked on a few shows. I'm an actor, but I am also a leatherman worker. I do a lot of leather goods. I've done some goods, some leather jackets, and for like Post Malone and working on other projects. But David and I met during a movie premiere that you were part of, which was for LeGrand with Ben Christensen. Shout out to Ben for making this happen. But yeah, and I also work a construction job full time. We build decks, patios, and pools, and so it's always being creative and always trying to just be hands-on, like you said. I think it's important, First, I didn't think myself as an artist, but I'm an artist in every form. And I think that's what helps us keep moving forward. But and that's how we met. My good friend Arturo came along, and I was like, bro, somos del mismo...
Somos paisas.
Paisas. We come from the same state. I mean, we're all from Mexico, but I'll let Arturo kind of introduce himself.
Arturo Carrillo. But man, before I get started, man, they're really humble guys. So I want them to name drop the films they were on, just because I'm sitting next to two actors, So you were in La Grande?
Yeah, Le Grand
and Horizon with Kevin Costner.
If you are into Western, those are two must-see films, and check them out, man. Check them out, because they won't say it, but I will say it, because they're amazing people. But yeah, I grew up pretty much in the United States all my life, but I come from a photography, videography background. I've been doing photography for about 10 years now, passionately, and then I'm switching over now. It's been like 2 years now that I'm doing more film work, so I want to get more into videography, shoot cool stuff that these guys are a part of, be on production sets. But the same thing, work, my 9 to 5 is construction, hands-on, and pretty much on my off time, I'm also a full-time photographer and filmmaker. So it's, for all of us, it's kind of non-stop. Like we're at home doing something, we're in the Rancho on the construction site doing something, and then when we have spare time, we're working on our creative passion. And pursuing that. So I think that's really amazing, that we all find time to sit down and work on something that maybe our older generation really wasn't a part of, but us expressing our creativity is a big part of who we are and who we inspire to be and want to inspire others to be. So.
And that's an amazing introduction.
Holy hit it on the head. You hit it. I love it. No, so Arturo, you kind of humble yourself too, though, because Arturo's also worked with Sony, Nikon. I mean, the man, he's also a living legend, but he doesn't know. He was trying to humble himself. So again, I think it's just important to surround yourself with this type of creativity and just humbleness, because together we go further. I've always said that. Together we go further. It doesn't matter what it is that we're doing, but if we're both helping one another in whatever creative asset we can bring to the table, I think that's what helps us just flourish each other, and I think that's what life's about. Is helping one another to be there for one another.
but not only in the creative industry. I think it's also that is the outcome of each of our personalities, but having the connection on a personal level, that the trust is there, the excitement of sharing passions. I think that's the foundation of it.
That's it. Yes.
Because you can be very excited about certain topics, but then if you don't click with the person,
It doesn't work.
it doesn't work.
No.
Yeah.
So since yesterday that I met Arturo, it's just instant like energy vibe, and then it just like clicked. So I'm really excited to be here today. You know, like and talking about basically how we got here. You know, kind of to be able to hopefully inspire some other generations or friends or even older people that have that kind of a stuck sense of like, oh, I'm too old to do that, or oh, I don't know the skills or whatever. You know, like it's we still have our 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And somehow, don't even ask me how, we find like time to do things, and I love that duality that you guys were mentioning, because sometimes you can see like Arturo in a set, super professional, all of the gear, and then the next day he'll be grinding on the site, same as Mace, same as me. So it's like it doesn't matter, that duality is part of our life,
Right.
Yeah.
and I think the difference is that we're embracing it. I don't know what you think about that.
No, I think Masa, you told me a story once that you were at your premiere, for the show, the movie.
Oh, yeah, Horizon, yeah.
Yeah, Horizon, and then the next day you were hauling ass to a construction site, working a 9 to 5. So just seeing that and like hearing about it, it just for me it goes to show that a lot of people, oh, I was a premiere, they'll walk up with their chest high like, nah, I'm too good for a construction site. But at the end of the day, man, that's how we grew up. That's what our family roots are there, and it's like we're always gonna go back to the goal of one day, kind of, not have to go back to that anymore. But I think that's really like awesome to see that people can still, be so high up in like a society status with like social media, films, and then be humble enough to go back and be on a construction site and be like, yeah, this is me right here. Yeah. This is me.
Okay, so to give kind of a little bit of flow, so we have introduced ourselves. Let's share how we get to where we are using and exploding and exploring our creativity. So you're now working in large productions and with big clients and then amazing people. You're now, come on, man, like sharing, like seeing with some of the icons in the industry. And then me just like trying to get there. And then since the first day that I did some acting, I just wanted to have fun and fucking score a goal, man. So I think, how about if we share him, like starting with you, Mace, like how was your road to get to...
My road to get there, first I had to get sober. That was key.
Shut out.
How to get sober. For a long time I was a drunk. But yeah, that's a different story. But I got sober 6 years ago. But not even then, right after I got sober, did everything happen. Everything started happening once I started digging into who I am and where I come from.
Okay.
Right? So for a long time, growing up in a small town, and I loved my small town, but there wasn't much of my culture there. So I had to acclimate to that. But once I got sober, I really started traveling and realized who I was. That I'm Otomi. I was born in Guanajuato. My tribe is Otomi. We're older than the Aztecs. My grandmother still spoke our language. But for a long time, I kept that deep. I didn't want short hair, no long, all of it.
You don't want no connection to it.
This colorful, it was just, I wanted to be like everybody else. But once I got sober, I realized that I can't be like everybody else. That I had to be myself in order to become the person that I wanted to be.
Yep.
And that helped me getting sober, finding myself and going back to my roots. And my roots is what put me in the position that I am today and helped me today creatively. So I got going back home, figuratively, not going back home, but going back to my roots, just empowered me in a way that just helped me believe more in myself, right? But it's that was the key, you know, to a lot of people. Were like, oh, te crees bien indio. Oh, te crees bien indio. I'm like, ¿por qué crees que? Why do you think you're brown? Con el nopal en la frente, we all got. So like Mexico was there's natives, there's like 260 languages still spoken.
Yeah.
You know, and it's just massive, but we didn't put the borders up. The borders were put up by people, you know. That's why we look brown. And I started my first thing. I ended up in the Navajo Nation, and when I first before the film or anything, and that's whenever I really found myself. And I was just traveling the country in my truck and camping out of my truck. I would just set up, and
So you were on a journey.
I was on a journey trying to figure out myself for the first few months. And so I had just came back from a buddy's place up in Wyoming, pushing cattle. We pushed about 1,200, 1,500 head of cattle up the mountain. But I didn't want to come home. I've been working a office job for the last 6-7 years. And I got lost in the, I'm gonna wear the nicest Rolex, the nice slacks.
It's easy to get lost.
But once I got sober and it was during COVID and everything shut down, I really have to bucker down and say, all right, who are you? Why are you trying to be somebody that you're not? But that's what helped me refine myself and build the courage to not be afraid to be this, right?
Wow.
And so that's always just back to that, to touching my roots. But it wasn't until 3 years later that from that, or 2.5 years later, that I found an ad on Facebook as I'm coming back from Wyoming, because I go to Wyoming every year in June to push cattle.
So you had no idea you were going to get into
it? No, no idea. I was a theater kid growing up, but my parents was like, you know, what are you doing? I did the talent show every year from 5th grade all the way to my senior year. Yeah. I dance, I break dance, I pop lock into, you know. Yeah. So I love to dance, and I've always been creative, but you know, it was never something attainable because where we come from. Right? Mm-hmm. I'm just a kid from the trailer park. I'm just doing it because it's part for school. But anyways, so I've never in a million years. And so I'm coming back, and the guy that I started working for, I didn't know how to read a tape measure. I didn't know how to use a saw. Hell, I didn't know how to use a drill. And he was like, dude, you got this look. Because I would show up, the first time he hired me, he showed up with the cowboy hat, straw hat, boots, and just you know, and he's like, come on. He's like, I'll teach you.
No judgment.
No judgment.
Love it.
Yeah. And it was 3 of us.
Wow.
You know, Josh, shout out to Josh and Wes, you know, and they're like, we got you. Yeah. And I had just gotten back from Wyoming, and it was like 80 degrees. When I got to Texas, it was 115 degrees. I passed out in the back of their car, right? I was so done at the end of the day. And I was like, they're going to fire me. I'm not made for this. And anyhow, he would always tell me, he's like, you got this look. He's like, why aren't you like in Yellowstone or something like that? And I'm like, what do you want me to do? I was like, yeah, Taylor Sheridan lives in town, but what am I going to do? Go knock on his door and say, hey, my boss thinks that I have a look. You should hire me as an actor. I cowboy for real.
And we do patios.
You know, and it wasn't, and he just would laugh. So that was the first year, you know, I started working from the second year whenever I went to Wyoming and I was on my way back, is when I saw that ad. I was driving back from Wyoming from pushing cattle because I drove up there every year. And I was just scrolling. It's at like a 19-hour drive. So I'm scrolling through my phone and it says looking for indigenous bareback riders with real long hair on the ad, and it looked like a fake ad, right? And they had the title Horizon. I was like, and I just kept driving, but I was still scrolling through Facebook. But it wasn't one of those like sign up now, becoming that. No, it didn't say. They didn't say any of that. It's just looking for background, and I'll keep scrolling. It kept popping up. Finally, it was probably like 6 a.m. I pull over in Colorado and I look for the email, and I send a picture that my friend in Wyoming, his little sister, she was like 12 at the time, takes a picture with her iPhone after getting done pushing cattle, and that's a picture that I sent to the casting directors. And I sent it, my height, my weight, and everything else, and I was like, cool, whatever. So I got back home, and I got on the job site the next day, and I said, hey, I did it. Leave me alone. I told my boss that. I said, hey, I did it. Leave me alone. I sent it to the casting. We were building one of our big projects at that time, and it was us three, and then there was some subcontractors that were doing some work inside the house, and we were building pools and stuff. And I get a call, and I look at my phone, and it said, the caller ID said Hollywood, California. And my friend Wes, that was sitting right next to me, I'm looking at that, and he's like, dude, answer it. Because I told both of them. He's like, answer. I was like, nah, it's probably spam. Yeah. Just answer it. So I answer it, and I put it on speaker. And the guy goes, hey, this is so-and-so with a casting agency. I'm looking for Macedonia with Elias. Yeah. And my buddy next to me, he's been my biggest supporter since day one. He's like, hey, everybody, Moss is going to Hollywood. And a whole bunch of Lazos there, right? And this is a white guy, you know. And he's like, but he speaks a lot of Spanish.
Yeah.
And he's super red in the face, and he's super happy. And he's like, hey, Moss is going to Hollywood.
While the phone call was
then I dropped the phone. I pick up the phone, and I'm like, oh, smokes. I was like, Wes, stop. Yeah. And I was like, hey, are you there? I was like, yes, sir. I'm sorry about that. He's like, yeah. He's like, we're really interested. Can you ride a horse bareback? And I'm like, yeah, I can. He's like, okay. He said, well, can you send us a video? I was like, yeah. He's like, this is my personal phone number. Just send me the video when you get it. Yeah. And so I'm like, I'm not gonna lie. First time ever saying it out loud in the camera, I didn't know how to ride bareback.
I love it.
I didn't know how to ride bareback.
Así pasan las cosas, you know, sometimes.
Hey, I didn't. I've been riding saddle since where I grew up. Everybody had saddles. Yeah. So we never had to ride bareback, right? And so I'm like, yeah, I can ride bareback. And so I call one of my friends, and I'm like, yo, I was like, you still got that old horse? He's like, yeah. Like, you think I can borrow him to do some bareback riding? He's like, yeah. I was like, I've never rode bareback. He's like, it's all right, you're Indian, you got it. Yeah. And so that's how it happened. I show up.
Yeah.
I show up.
La otra.
Sí. Llegué y le dije, hey, anda caballo. Le hago, hey, you get on the four-wheeler, saca la cámara, start recording, and I'm just going to ride. And at first it looked like shit, I'm not going to lie. But the more I got it, it was natural. It was natural after a while. It was natural because I knew how to ride a horse and I knew what they do.
You know how to move.
It was just getting on it and then running it. And so we did it. I sent it. And the casting director, I sent it to him right away. That's like within minutes. I still have the screenshot. He's like, that's it. That's what we're looking for. You're going to get a call from me on Monday. We'll talk to you soon. And that's when he called me. He called me the next day or that next Monday. And he said, hey, we need you to come to Utah. And I was like, shit, I was out of money. Like, I was living check to check. And so I'm like, damn, I'm out of money. Like, I was driving a big dually diesel. And so I'm like, man. Yeah. But that's when Josh, my boss, came in. And he's like, I've been telling you this for a long time. Are you going to take it? I was like, I ain't got money to go. He said, how much do you need? I said, well, I just need to, I don't know if I'm going to be gone for a week. I don't know if I'm going to be gone for 2 weeks. I don't know. They said a week, but the drive there, drive back, and pay all my bills probably like $2,500. I was like, but don't worry about it. I was like, I'm not going to go. He pulls out his phone and he Venmos me $2,500. He says, go. And I'm looking at him and I'm like, there's no way. There's just no way. And I get back to the job site. I was supposed to leave that week. And I get cold feet. I show up to the job site and I was like, yo, what are you doing? You're supposed to be on the road. You got to be there tomorrow. What are you doing here? I'm not going to go. Here's your money. And he looks at me. He's like, what do you mean here's your money? He's like, if you don't go,
you're fired.
I'm going to fire you and I want my money back. He said, listen, if it doesn't work out, because I told him, I was like, I don't think I fit in that world. He said, you fit in wherever, Mace. They're going to love you. But you have to go try it. I don't want to fire you because then you're going to be without a job, without no money. So just take the money and go. Yeah. And I just kind of looked at him and just kind of like, he's like, just go.
Yeah, está loco. ¿Quién hace esto?
And that's when he said, no matter what happens, you will always have a spot with me here in this company, no matter what.
And that guy is sent by God to you, brother. Like many other people.
Well, and that was my start.
Okay. And then after
That's my start. I went and I showed up. And Kevin Costner's there, directing the thing.
No mames. The Kevin Costner.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like the Kevin Costner.
I'm sitting there and I'm just like, we get there and I get the measurements or whatever, and then we just kind of show up on set. And at first, everybody kind of questioned me. You're Mexican. You're not native.
Don't even start in that debate.
You're not native. You're Mexican.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, I'm native. No, you're Mexican. And I had a couple of them. After that, I've never really seen them, but I'm like, what tribe are you from? I said, Otomi. We never heard of it.
That doesn't mean that he doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And so that was my first hurdle there.
Yeah.
Right? And then showing on set, and we're riding bareback, we're just walking through the first scene. It took like a week. And I felt real comfortable. And then the wranglers on set were like, hey, can you ride fast? I'm like, yeah, I can ride, yeah.
How fast your horses can.
Yeah. And so I jump on a horse, and they tested all of us. And only, like, I think 10 of us made it out of the 15 or 18 that were originally there to do stunt work.
Yeah.
And so I ran, and they were like, yeah, we love your look. And that's when, like I said, Kevin was there, but we're all just like...
Starstruck.
Yeah.
You know, and so but everybody kept their chill, whatever, you know. And honestly, I'll be honest with you, I didn't expect anything of it. I didn't expect it to be like... Because I would tell my mom and dad, like, hey, me agarré un trabajo, voy a ser actor. And hijo,
Oh, man.
¿cómo
That's...
que vas a ser actor?
Yeah.
You know, we'll touch about that later, but it was like, ¿cómo que vas a ser actor? Hijo, ¿qué haces? And then my mom didn't even know who Kevin Costner was.
Okay, that's impressive.
Yeah.
My mom didn't know
Mama, ¿qué pasó?
My mom didn't know who Kevin Costner was. And so, fast forward, I get picked to be one of the stunt guys. We show up on set, and we're like riding in and it was in Utah, but we're riding as fast as we can bareback. And I'm like, yeah, this is awesome, you know.
I already won. Whatever happens,
like,
yeah.
right? And so we shot up there, and then we come back. We shot up there for a week. So a job that was supposed to be only a week, or 3 days, ended up being a job that was 4 weeks.
Wow.
And I went from just being a background writer to being a stuntman to being featured on the film. And it's
Determination.
but it's just like I would just show up, right? And so we did the stunt stuff, and we came back.
But let me make a pause there. You just say something very interesting, Arturo. How would you show up? Showing up.
Yeah.
Like that?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people do that.
Exactly.
Not
You
a
know?
lot of people do that. Or they show up, but with bad intentions or not with like the correct mindset. They'll show up just to go through the motions, but not show up to be present. So
Yeah.
And it goes back to Josh. Josh helping me show up, pushing me.
Yeah.
Cabrón, vas a ir porque vas a ir. If he spoke Spanish, that's what he would have said.
He thought about it. He thought about it.
Yeah.
Cabrón.
Yeah.
O te vas o te mando.
Google Translate.
Yeah.
Cabrón, vas a ir porque vas a ir.
O vas o te mando. And Josh was like, dude, you gotta go.
Yeah.
And so a lot of it goes all back to him. Because he kick-started that creativity again, you know? And so, you know, we're back on set, right? And I'm sitting there, and they're about to send us all home because we're done with what we did. So we go back to base camp, which is in Moab, a few hours away from where we're in Price. It was in Price, Moab, or Price, Utah. We went back to Moab. And it's like 15 of us, right, at that time, the stunt guys. We're all sitting there, and they're about to release us. We signed for the week, and they said, all right, everybody, we need y'all in a circle. Kevin's going to pick 2 guys to do this next scene. It's like the climax of the movie. I mean, and we've got some great native riders, indigenous riders. You got people like Stephen Yellowtail, which is a hell of a horseman from the Crow Reservation. You have Dougie Hall, which has all these bucking horses, his own brand, and he's built his name and just who he is. And he used to be a PRCA card holder, bronc rider. You have Smiley. He, he's gone to the INFR so many times. So you have all these and like all these guys that are some of the best riders in the Indian National Finals rodeo, right? And there's just Mace. Native from Mexico, right?
Hello. Hola.
Everybody's taller, everybody's bigger, everybody's,
Yeah.
We get us in a circle. I'm like, all right. And the director goes, takes a picture of all of us. So I'll be right back. I got to take this to Kevin. Got to go to his trailer. Leaves and he comes back. And I'm like, I'm already got my bag. I took off my stuff off. Because I ended up buying pads and stuff like that when you get fall, of course. And so I'm like, getting all my stuff ready. Got my backpack. I'm about to walk out. And like I turn around and he's like, yeah, he's like, well, out of all y'all, the two of you that got picked is you, Randall, which is Navajo. Is it you, Randall? And is that Mace? And I was already turned around. I turned around. I was like, yes, sir. He's like, Kevin wants you to ride.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And so that's how I got a scene in the movie. And then from there, it just exploded.
Yeah.
Just networking. Just being my authentic self everywhere I show up. Not being more, not being less. Not asking too many questions. And just showing up and saying, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
The guys would show up at the bar to go have drinks. I don't drink, so I would take everybody home.
Yeah.
Coming to find out, some of those guys were some of the producers. So now I'm walking the red carpet because I got invited by one of the producers.
There is a phrase by this Mexican, to some will be a poet, to other will be a drunk, to other will be like a hobo. Pito Perez. And whenever they ask him, he lived in the streets and he did all of these things, but when they ask him, hey, are you late to be somewhere else? And he stood up straight and said, like, I'm never late because I'm on time right where I'm supposed to be. And that phrase is always stuck. So, like, to do that, some people will say, oh, you might be searching for something or whatever. Like, no, I was exactly where I was supposed to be. Yeah. There's no other explanation. Man, that's amazing.
That's how I got started, and then from there, like I said, I just networked and just showed up being my authentic self.
And it hasn't stopped. You are consistently looking for other projects, production, as well as
I'm always on a venture. Actually, a couple of years ago, I produced my own series, Adventures of the Feathered Indian. And we're still working on it. It came from years and years ago, but I got with the crew of 5. Shout out to that crew, and they helped me bring this to life, and something that I'm still pursuing.
So where are our friends can find that?
So they can find that. Yes, so it's out. It's on my social media page under Mace Elias, or the page that's dedicated for that, Adventures of the Feathered Indian, and on Instagram. But it's just telling stories of cowboys from walks of life.
Thank you.
So that's my whole goal, and there's a lot more to come, and I'm excited that Arturo's now come on board and to help bring this vision to life, and he can help me as well with his eyes, and then later down the road he can meet the team and we can all get together and really experience this, because there's more out there than sometimes we see.
Yeah.
And it's just, I think it'll be cool to explore and really do things non-scripted.
Yeah.
Non-scripted. Something similar to this, just to show up and show what it is. But that's something that I know I want to get out there and just to inspire the next generation, to chase their dreams, to go back to their roots, to understand where they come from, to not be ashamed to hablar en español and then switch it to English. We're so rich in both cultures, being from both sides, that it's important. But That's how I got started. What about you? How'd you get started?
I think I want to go last, Arturo. I think, because we have your perspective as the actor. So let's switch it up to the actual, and then we'll go with the actor. But yeah,
I mean, for me, I honestly, like, I grew up always painting, drawing, sculpting, very, like, working with my hands, artistic. And then one of my cousins actually joined the Marine Corps, and I saw that, and I was like, damn, that's badass. Like, I want to do that. Let me do that. Let me do that. So I ended up joining the Marine Corps, you know, like 5 days at my high school graduation. You know, I was on a bus stepping on the yellow footprints, you know, shaved head, everything. And then 5 years into it, I decided that there was something missing in my life, and it was always that creative side. In the military, it's very rigid, very structured, and it's like, hey, do this. You had like a routine every day. And I thrive on routine, of course, right. But there was always that little piece of me where I was like, damn, like, I like this is me, you know, but there's something missing. Like, I feel like a void in me, and I ended up getting out, and my sister was actually one that let me borrow her camera for the first time. She's like, hey, just try it out. Maybe you'll like it. And just because I couldn't really sit down and draw or sculpt or do something, especially when I was in the Marine Corps. This was like the last year. I was always on the go, whether it was training or everything. And she's like, well, just take this. You know, maybe just take it with you. You never know. And I picked it up and just fell in love with it. Just random photos here and there. I look back at them now, the ones that I still have, and I'm just like, what was I thinking? What is that? You know what I mean? But throughout the time, I started like just developing. It really started when I got out. I was pretty much on my own, just because I felt like my family was in the Marine Corps. So I went back home, and everyone already kind of had their own life kind of happening. And it was like, oh, well, I'm back home. I moved back to Vegas. I was originally from Las Vegas. Moved back to Vegas for a year, and I was there. And I did everything I can. I worked, and then I went on a road trip by myself with my dog. Yeah. And took my camera, did a lot of like self-portrait stuff. And then I was like, you know what? I'm stuck here in Las Vegas. I don't see myself going anywhere. And that's when my dad reached out, and he's like, hey, well, I'm actually in Texas. You want to help me like work on the family business? And I was like, yeah, but I also like, I love photography, and I don't want to lose that. And of course, working with the family business, I'm able sometimes to make my own schedule as well. So I was able to come to Texas and kind of really pursue my photography. And obvio, el trabajo es el trabajo. So I had to go to work with my dad. And pues todo el día trabajando. And then I get home, and the sun's going down. And I'm just like, damn, well, what do I do now? I need light to do photography. I need something. And so I started doing a lot of like continuous lighting with actual lights. That's cool. And so like low light photography is what I really got into, just because no tiene opción. It's like, ¿practicas aquí con esto o...?
Dale con lo que tienes.
Sí,
es como... Sí.
So I worked on that, developed my stuff, and you know...
Which I want to say something is really interesting how people that have feels of passion, there's always the thrive, the kind of a pursuing to do it no matter what. Mm-hmm. Oh, there's no like, whatever, I'm going to do it. While there's other people that is like, oh, the conditions are not perfect. Yeah. And it's like a self-sabotaging kind of a deal that I don't have the right camera, I don't have the right lighting, I don't have enough time, like...
Llego cansado del trabajo.
Just do it, you know?
Yeah. So I had to do it just because I loved it. And just like one thing led to another, I started, you know, getting clients, and they're like, yo, man, why don't you get paid for photography? Because for me, it was always a hobby. It was never, I never wanted to make money off of it. Yeah. And they're like, yo, you're good enough, dude. Like, get some brands, you know, get some deals, get some clients. And I was like, I'll try it, whatever. And I started working with some clients, and, you know, it started with people and then brands, and actually some of the cameras we were shooting with, they reached out to me out of nowhere. I was actually in Germany, in Berlin, with some friends, and they're like, hey, can you hop on a like call real quick, a video call? And I was like, I'm out of town right now. She's like, no, it'll be like in 3 hours. Man, I remember grabbing my friends, we hauled ass back to the train, back to the place we were staying at. And I didn't even tell them. I was like, I need to be back because I need to answer this call. And then I hop on a call, and it's probably like the biggest brand deal I ever got.
That's
up
huge.
to this day.
It's huge.
And that kind of just really, it was one of those moments where like I proved it to myself that I'm like, okay, like I'm where I need to be.
Yeah.
Like this is what I love. And the project wasn't like, hey, I need you to do this, and this, and this. It's like, hey, this is the idea, but it's yours. Do whatever you want with it.
Okay, cool.
Create whatever you want, how you want, what speaks to you, do it. And I think that really like opened my eyes to like, they didn't necessarily hire me for my skills. They hired me for like my creativity. It was like they wanted that creative idea and not the skill.
Yeah.
And I was just like, okay. I was like, damn, this is getting serious. It was one of those moments where like it's like, you know what? I'm just not going to reply. Like, I'm just going to ignore. Like, I'm too scared like to actually see, like, what if I mess up? You know, a lot of like self-sabotage like you were talking about. And luckily I had a good group of friends that really encouraged me. And they were like, hey, let's do this. I will help you out with whatever you need. And we got that done. And it kind of from there, kind of just transitioned. I was able to be an instructor a little bit more to teaching photography, hosting like community little meetups for other photographers. Because that was like one of the big things I wanted to do is give back to the community what I wish I had starting out. Because I did it all by myself. So it was like, how do I give back to the community? Like, what did I wish I had? And it was meetups, little community events where I can just go and meet photographers. No pressure to like, hey, like let's network, let's be business partners. No, you were just, here's a set, here's the model, just have fun.
Hey, porque también como mexicanos eso es parte importantísima en la comunidad. Nos juntamos por cualquier cosa.
Sí.
Que ya parió la puerca, nos juntamos. Que ya hay huevos, nos juntamos. Que un elote, nos juntamos.
Sí.
¿Sabes? Que ya llegó Arturo, nos juntamos. Está padre eso.
Yeah, so it was always that, and it was always, I always saw like mentors, workshops, and I'm like, I looked at the price and I'm like $2,000, $3,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, dang, like it's gonna be that expensive to do something like that. And I was like, how do I change that? And I was like, who's gonna pay for this, you know? And por eso mucho de veces trabajar tarde, because I invested a lot of my money for free community meetups. I didn't charge because when you're starting out, man, you don't got money to spend like that.
No.
So I'm like, I'm gonna do everything I can to reach out to models that are just starting out so they can get exposure. Photographers just starting. I'm like, hey, like just come. It's free, man. Like it's 2 hours. Do whatever you guys want.
Well, free for them, but you were
covering
the cost a lot. Yeah.
And then a little bit after that, it's kind of with some of the clients I work with. I was like, hey, this is what I do. This is what I have an idea. And that same company, Nikon. It was Nikon for everyone that's
just Nikon, right?
Nikon. Because I don't want to keep saying company, but yeah, Nikon reached out and I told them, I was like, hey, this is kind of what I do. I'd love to do something at a bigger scale.
Yeah.
And teach. And they're like, all right, here's the budget. Here's all our cameras. Create the event for the community. And I'm just like, what? Okay. Todo nervioso, like I didn't think it was like I didn't think it was gonna happen.
Wait, is it real?
Yeah, and then that kind of like sparked my thing where it's like, all right, cool, like maybe I can have big brands that have the budget to help create these events. And now, lo miras donde quiera, a lot of big brands are sponsoring little creators, like smaller creators, individuals to host these little events because la comunidad is the only thing that's going to push people forward and help each other move forward. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. And now that I met you guys, the filming aspect, I really want to tap into my culture now. And that's kind of why I stopped. I didn't do photography. I stopped for 1 year last year.
Okay.
Paré todo. Me fui para México unos 2-3 meses con mi abuelo y mi papá.
¿A Guanajuato?
A Guanajuato, a un rancho, Calvillo. And that's kind of where I was like, I've done so much and gave so much, but what am I doing to learn about myself? So I started really tapping into my culture and just being like, I wish I saw more of the different aspects of the Mexican culture. Like I was like escaramuza, charros, luchadores, everything, like all these little aspects that almost go invisible in America, in the States. that doesn't really get appreciated, not only by like myself, because man, I'm in my 30s, and just last year I'm finally tapping into my culture and like really appreciating it and learning my roots of where I came from, even though I grew up here. It's just like, how do I get that piece of myself back that I like kind of pushed away for so long? So that's kind of the next goal this year, is everything I work on, I want it to be something where it's informative, obviously looks beautiful on camera, but also teaches the next generation, like, hey, don't forget, like, this is your culture too. Yeah. And even if you're from another culture, it's just like, hopefully it inspires them to tell their stories and little pieces, little details that make their traditions, so vibrant and beautiful. So that's kind of the next goal for me. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. And speaking about charros over here,
beforehand, I want to say thank you for the service, by the way.
Oh, yeah,
thank you
for the support.
I'm glad you came back, Cabron. Well, híjole. That's interesting because how do I get here? Man, I guess it just goes back to, I don't know, like an inexplicable kind of a spark inside of each of us that you want to create, like whatever it is you want to create. Growing up, I'm a part of a family of 8 siblings. I'm the last one, the baby, so that's kind of a little spoil. But also growing up in a ranch, I remember like at an early age, you've been exposed to, back then it was like the cool things were from the US, and then you kind of aspire to be part of that, like whether you want it or not. Like my dad was a rancher. He never thought of like the United States. I think he did came during some period, and then just decided to not. It wasn't for him, and then went back. But so whenever growing up, I remember I had this like inclination for like nature and arts. Like I was drawing clouds. The fly draws clouds. I know it was just me. Like, oh, the season is here. I had this amount of time to draw a cloud because it's gonna change. And that kind of a skill that I developed was like capture everything fast and like keep it, like kind of a como elefante, fotografía de elefante, or like something like that. That allows me to like, oh, that's cool. It goes into my archive. Like super weird like skill. So that growing up, then I've always was part of the Mexican culture on the ranching, and then like vaquero. My dad at the time when we were younger had horses, but at the time that I was growing up, he didn't want to have horses because he was a businessman. So he was like, horses are like a pleasure, like a luxury. They don't work. We feed them. So he didn't have horses. So then when my dad passed, my older brother, Gabriel, shout out Enrico and Daniela and all of my siblings. But Gabriel had this tremendous connection with the culture. Like he was a charro, he was doing events, same thing for free, hosting events that cost money, and he was just hosting people. So that was my first approach to like, why you're doing this? For the community. What? Like, So then at the time, same as many teenagers, you want to go against the wave. So I had my face, believe it or not, of a punk and a rocker and skater and many other things. So then, but at the same time, something that I applaud from my family and my older brother, he always encouraged me and my other brother, Daniel, to live free, to explore, but always have in mind that there is consequences and responsibilities. So we knew Guadalajara because we skated all over Guadalajara, like everywhere. We only had like one-way ticket for the bus. We choose the farthest drop-off area, and then we skate back. That's how we knew Guadalajara well. So then and at the same time, my brother in these events, he will have all of these charro friends, and he never was ashamed of saying like, that's my brother. You know, I was wearing like bands and like long hair, and I was like, I definitely don't fit here. But my brother was like, that's my little brother. I was like, damn, that's cool. You know, like that kind of a inclusiveness of it. And then as well, you became, because once you learn something, like especially in Mexico, tienes que saber. Sí. Tienes que saber hacer esto. Sí. Tienes que saber andar a caballo. Tienes que saber trabajar. ¿Por qué?
Porque sí.
Porque sí. No hay explicación. Sí. So then, I knew how to work with horses. I knew how to work with cattle. I knew how to work in the ranch, but I was just a skater, you know? So all of my formation and the biggest change towards the cowboy culture immersing big time, and it wasn't actually cowboy, it was more like a charro. Because growing up, I used to watch the movies with my dad of like Pedro Infante and Jorge Negrete. And I've always been a passionate, a lover. I just, it's amazing, you know? So to me, it was like, that is a Mexican icon. Yeah. Like, that's a freaking emancipation of like the Mexican man, to me. Yeah. So I was like, I want to be like that. And then I talking to my dad, I was like, so did you have horses? Oh yeah. And then I used to get the mariachi behind me and do all of these things. And I'm like, I didn't get to see you. Like, what the heck? So then in high school, so when my dad passed, I stopped studying 2 years because we had to take care of the ranch. So we had pigs, pig farm, we have a meat farm, and then dairy farm. So we had all of these things, and then it was 4 brothers, 4 sisters that were married already, and then it was 4 brothers that in Mexico, you're a man and some responsibility will fall into you automatically. Yeah. But you don't have an option. Eso lo tienes que hacer, mijo. ¿Por qué? A huevo. Lo tienes que hacer. Sí. A topar, no? That's the biggest saying in my family, a topar. So we had to do it, and then at some point everything became like, okay, more stabilized. We were able to like sold the pig farm, and then my brother is like, well, do you want to go back to study? And I was like, well, I don't know. But then I was like, I do like art. So yes, I do want. I didn't know what I want to do, and it's getting a little longer my story, but I promise I'm getting there. So in high school, that's when this charro impact had on me because everybody, and I still was riding bicycles, skateboarding, but when the reunions, when everybody was showing up in their cars and jeeps and shit like that, I show up in a horse. Yeah. You know, and then it was like it was such a like. Are you the same guy that was skateboarding in the? Yes, I am, and that's something that for so many people cannot have that flexibility of thinking like, we're here once in this life. Yeah. So identity, yes, of course it is important, but what is stopping you to do whatever? You know, like as long as you respect others, el respeto al derecho ajeno es la paz. I think that's very important. If you're not hurting others, and if you're not, you know, like doing any kind of a crazy thing that is gonna put you in risk, like we're talking about culture and arts, and to me it was like, well, I can be all of that. So that started kind of having the influence. Then with the little money that I had, I started buying hats, and I started buying my spurs that I was like, oh, I saw that in the movie of Pedro Infante. Like, even though it wasn't like real, to me was real. Yeah. Because charro industry, it's expensive, guys. Yeah. Like, to be a charro is very, very expensive. Yeah. And it's weird because it started in the popular scene, and then Hacendados were like, oh, this is my team and all of this, and it has evolved, but then it has remained like expensive. Right. So to me, I wasn't wearing any expensive things but to me it was expensive because I bought 1,000 pesos spurs. A skateboard was 700. You know, so it's like, why the heck I bought this spurs for 1,000 pesos? Like, I'm never gonna use it. But the way that the noise was making while you're on the cobblestone streets in Mexico, it was totally worth it. Yeah, clean. And to me, Emiliano Zapata and Pancho Villa were my biggest heroes.
Yeah,
you know,
mine
so
too.
so then, fast forward, when I was 18, I moved to the U.S. out of curiosity, and same thing. I wanted to be a professional skateboarder. I realized that that I did not have the level. Not because I didn't try it. It was, I mean, here is where everything started.
Yeah.
You know, so it was I was 18 and an 8-year-old was like 200 times better than me, and I was like, I'm gonna do this for pleasure for myself, not to compete. But then I started kind of keeping my culture alive, and then fast forward, I started doing content of how I like to dress and how I like to revive the look of the previous times, like from the late 1800s, early 1900s, during the Mexican Revolution. And then that started kind of leading me into researching more about looks, what type of materials, and then that led me to make the boots that I have. And then that led me to start being more collaborative with other people and creators. And that took me to make more content. And then one time, Ben Christensen wanted to make that movie all by himself, and then he started asking for donations. And then I love community and I love people that are self-made, and I didn't have the money, so what I did was I'm gonna make a sale of my products, and whatever I have the profits, like after paying my cost, it's just gonna go to Ben. Like, no interest. Like, I didn't want it to be part of the movie, nothing. I was like, this guy is doing something cool. So just like you, I want to support that. So I do that. I don't know if Ben saw the story or not or whatever. And then same thing. I'm like, do the transfer. He had no idea who I was. Do the transfer, and then he reached out to me and he's like, yo, man, you're exactly what I'm looking for. And I'm like, Ben fucking Christensen? Like, this... Me? You know? So then, yeah, he was like, dude, that's what I'm looking for. And then he just decided that I was a fit for his movie. And then he decided to make me like this co-character alongside with his, and then another person, Bo Simons. And then everyone else was amazing in the set, actually. I had a blast. So from there, I think that was a moment that I tapped and connected with my 14, 16-year-old and told him, like, hey, you made it. Like, to me, in my bucket list was to make a movie, to be part of a movie. And that was it to me. Like, I had no idea that it was going to lead me to do new campaigns, to do modeling, to do more exposure. But I did it because I wanted it. My 15, 16 years old man or teenager, hey, you did it. But you see, like, everyone was telling you that no puedes, what is your identity, you're never gonna make it. I was doing it out of pure joy, guys. Yeah. And I still do things out of pure joy because that's the only thing we have.
That's it.
You know? So that's a little bit of a story that we have. But then let's do something. We prepare some kind of a bullet point. So, since we're in this topic of our background, we share the Mexican culture. We share the all of this experience of having parents Mexicans and everything. But we came here, brought here, in different stages of life. Yes. Yeah. So, what time you came here?
I don't even remember. I was a baby, probably 6 to 9 months. I born in Guanajuato, but I pretty much grew up all my life on the West Coast, over in Las Vegas. So,
you?
And then I was brought here whenever I was 4 years old, and then we moved back whenever I was in second grade. So I did pre-K through second grade, and then in Mexico I did third and fourth grade. And I had to learn how to read and write Spanish in Mexico because that's the age group that you have to learn that. And then after that, we came back to the States. But I went originally I was in the West Coast, and then the second time that I came back, whenever I was in 5th grade, I was in Texas. And I've been in Texas for the last 25 years or so.
Okay.
So I was able to tap back into who we are. And it's cool because there were still pictures of us, me dressed like this. And I think one of that picture, well, I have to show it later, but that's what kind of reminded me of who I am.
Yeah.
That little 2 years of my life back in Mexico. But other than that, I've been here for the last 25 years now. And then you were brought here, or you came when you were 18?
18, yeah. So I do want to make that, I guess, to share with everyone that although we came here in the different stages in our life and ages, we still have this strong connection to our culture.
Yeah.
And you mentioned something earlier, eating tacos. It's so important that older generations, a newer generation, and kids, they realize that this is your culture too.
Yeah.
And I just learned through talking right now to you that you have these events, and that's what helps people realize that that's my culture. Arturo did it, and Arturo's offering a workshop for free. I want to go. I want to go to know what the heck is a charro or escaramuza or heck, just a montura charra, That's so cool. Because we had to explore that side.
Yeah.
We were curious to go and look for that, right? And maybe it works, maybe it doesn't, who knows? But by facilitating, I think that can be a good platform for other kids, and mostly kids, because we have to influence them, and others, any age, to pursue what they want, especially culturally.
Yeah, and I think you bring up a good point, because me growing up in the States, la cultura mexicana, it was always over there. You know what I mean? To me, it was always, I grew up American, so it was I want the American stuff, Yeah. So now that I'm older, and my parents are getting older, my grandpa is getting older, and just hearing their stories, I'm just like, what was I doing growing up my whole life? I should have been tapping into to who I was and not to who people here want me to be.
Yeah.
So it's just now that I'm older, and I think it definitely comes with age, especially growing up in the States, is you're so far away from it, so you're whatever. But then you get older and you start asking those questions who am I? Where do I come from? Just because I'm Mexican, I'm American, but I'm in like you said, I'm in America, but eres mexicano. No eres americano, eres gringo.
Yeah.
Eres, and then you go to Mexico and it's the same thing, eres gringo, eres güero.
Pocho.
So it's you're stuck in between that fine line of Mexican American, which it's people now are Mexican American. I was like, nah, Mexican definitely, you know what I mean? But I did grow up American, so it's just going back now that I'm older is let me hit the roots, you know what I mean? Let me get back to what's what my foundation is, because that's at the end of the day, that's what's holding me up, what's going to keep me standing for thousands of years with the next generation to come. So being able just to inspire and share our stories, and let the younger generation know, be hey, make sure you tap in before you miss out, before it's too late, before you get to my age. For me at least, it's sharing that story before they get too old, where it's maybe down the road, because we didn't do our job to keep some traditions alive, that tradition, that aspect, that detail in Mexican culture in America, it's not spoken about, it goes completely invisible and never told again. So it's how do I keep that alive for myself and for the next people coming? So
and that's actually so I'm reading between lines, but in a way you're encouraging people to live it, not only to watch a Netflix documentary, or or watch only my production, my photos, or my content. No, go there, explore, because that's something you said, to live it, to experience it. You cannot smell the carnitas in Quiroga, Michoacán, if you're not there.
Yeah.
You can see the lake on a take. You don't know how cold it is. Maybe it's super. So I guess it's part of it to explore, to get lost in the mountains of Montana, and then come back and something changes your life. But that has to find you in the adventure.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying drop off everything and then just like go to
Yeah,
travel.
like my adventure was like going to the Marine Corps. That,
Yeah.
Si me conocieran antes, calladito, silencio, nothing. I was always like, at school, that was me. Just quiet. But ahora, no me callo.
We can't get him to shut up.
Oye, no, y también es bueno mencionar, como dices tú, pues yo me considero mexicano, sí crecí acá y todo, pero aún así queremos mucho a esta nación. Que no se confunda, porque hay mucho conflicto, que no se confunda ese tema. Tú fuiste a los marinos y anduviste por allá. Entonces, nosotros, como muchas personas, no es que no queremos Estados Unidos o estamos incómodos, no. O hay personas que dicen, si te gusta tanto México, vete. Es como, ay, güey, qué ignorancia tan estúpida.
Sí.
Pero se me hace bien interesante mencionar de que, pues sí, o sea, somos mexicanos y pues acá estamos, aquí estamos. Y es vida, o sea, es vida y no tenemos nada que reclamar ni de reprochar, nada más aquí estamos, pero queremos pues compartir lo que hemos vivido y memorias o tal vez historias que nuestros abuelos o papás o personas en la comunidad nos han platicado. Entonces, sí, nada más quería como mencionar ese tema.
No, me gusta eso porque, como tú dices, tú viniste a los 18 años. So, la diferencia para ti, ¿qué fue de crecer en México y tener esa cultura rica y tú mismo realizar y decir, ¿sabes qué? Yo quiero regresar a ser charro. Me gusta skating, me gusta todo eso, pero yo sé quién soy. So, ¿cómo fue tu cambio llegar a un lugar como San Antonio, que es rico en nuestra cultura todavía, y decir, ¿sabes qué? Aquí soy yo, me gusta porque soy de allá y soy de aquí ahora. Quiero aprender esta cultura, pero yo sé de dónde vengo. So, para ti, ¿cómo fue ese cambio? ¿Qué fue lo que te sentiste decir, voy a seguir con esto?
Fíjate que es bien interesante esa pregunta, porque yo pienso que lo más que me pegó fue el venir acá y ver que había como una falta de identidad auténtica. O sea, sí hay muchos sombreros grandotes y mariachis y cosas de colores, pero allá, o sea, las pancartas de colores que ves en las calles o aquí en restaurantes, allá solamente es una semana al año y es cuando es el novenario del santo del pueblo y son las fiestas patronales. Es una fiestotota, me encantan, es hermosa. Pero aquí se volvió como...
Taco Tuesday.
Taco Tuesday, exacto, cabrón.
Como normal.
Ajá, lo normal.
Taco Tuesday.
Acuérdense, los aguacates eran de temporada y ahora ya todo el tiempo hay aguacate, cabrón.
Todo el tiempo.
Entonces ya como que dices, me encanta el aguacate, pero pues ya lo puedo agarrar en cualquier momento. Entonces como que le quita ese... Entonces yo cuando vine, yo llegué a Austin y pues estaba padrísimo, pero sí me acuerdo que decía, ¿y dónde están? Hay muchos mexicanos, chingo. Pero ¿dónde están estos paisanos? Entonces, también había una dualidad que quiero mencionar, donde o eres un paisa hardcore, o eres un traidor y convives con los norteamericanos. Entonces yo decía, ay, güey. Entonces yo me puse en este como modo neutro. Dije, no, pues son mis paisanos, cabrón. Yo los quiero un chingo y quiero platicar con ustedes. Pero también... yo estoy en tu país, yo quiero aprender cómo hablan, yo quiero saber cómo se expresan, yo quiero saber de qué se ríen cuando están riéndose de un sitcom. Pinche sitcom, ni sabía qué pedo, cabrón. O sea, entonces, eso como que me ayudó a mí a definirme mi personalidad, porque dije, ok, pues casi todos mis amigos, o los que conocí en su momento, unos venían de ciudad. Y yo venía de pueblo, o sea, pueblo, con caballerizas en la casa. Entonces, y aunque estudié en una universidad súper padre, que me dio unos buenos fundamentos para la vida y todo esto, yo aún así vivía en el pueblo, en el campo. Entonces, era como, pero ¿cómo puede ser que alguien como tú, que eres ranchero, estudió en el ITESO, estudió en esta universidad que es de super nice? Sí, pues manejaba 40 minutos, cabrón. Una ida. ay, güey. Pero entonces llegando acá, era, o las personas que trabajaban en restaurantes, que a mí me encanta, y shout out to all the restaurant and service industry, I love it. Give me my foundations and my first English speaking words. More water? Hey,
More
no
water,
tips,
dude.
come on.
Come on, man.
Pero me ayudó mucho porque entonces yo dije, bueno, si ellos tienen este pensamiento de que yo me quedo con mi gente, pero tampoco no avanzan y se quedan en un círculo que no salen.
Yeah.
Está bien raro.
No, es verdad.
Y si sales de ahí, te vuelves como el cabrón traidor que no quieres convivir con nosotros. Y del otro lado, también del lado del norteamericano, piensan que tú eres una persona superior porque estás hablando con ellos, porque estás conviviendo con ellos. Y yo tuve muchos conflictos porque decía, no, espérame, yo no soy superior que mi hermano acá.
Yeah.
Somos idénticos. La única diferencia es que yo me estoy atreviendo más a convivir contigo y tú te atreves a juzgarme de pensar que soy diferente que ellos. Entonces como que ahí también soy bien orgulloso. Chingado, no me ayuda a veces, pero...
Yo también.
Pero haz de cuenta que me ayudó en llegar acá y decir, yo soy un hombre de Jalisco, yo soy un hombre de Tapatío, yo soy un hombre que le gusta la charreada, yo soy un hombre que le gusta el campo. ¿Cómo puedo expresar eso? Entonces, de primero, no sé, me acuerdo que había una canción de Space Cowboy, me encantó, dije, está chida, porque ¿quién chingas piensa en un Space Cowboy? Dije, eso está padre, porque, pues sí, soy un vaquero, pero puedo ser así como medio hipsterón, ¿no? Medio cool, y jaló, cabrón. Entonces como que de ahí se desarrolló eso, me dio más seguridad en mí mismo, porque no había personas como yo.
Yeah.
Entonces te vuelves como esa persona de, pinche David, o el bigotón, el de las botas altas. Entonces ya te vuelves como esa referencia.
Yeah.
Y pues no sé, se me hizo padre. Y así fue como yo traer mi cultura a Estados Unidos, pues me hizo formar mi identidad que tengo acá. No un personaje, pero es como tu identidad de, pues esto es lo que soy. Y pues, se siente muy bien porque no estás engañando a nadie y estás trayendo a tu cultura a una parte que pues ayuda a promoverla.
Sí.
Y a crecerla.
Sí. ¿Y tú? ¿Cómo te fue tu experiencia de... No sabía que habías venido y después regresar y todo. ¿Cómo te fue?
Al principio, cuando nosotros llegamos a Los Ángeles y empecé a ir a la escuela, mi mamá limpiaba casas. Y la casa donde era en Laguna Beach. Nosotros vivíamos en Huntington Beach.
Ajá.
Y Laguna Beach es de mucho dinero.
Yeah.
So, lo que hizo la patrona de mi mamá es que la dejó usar mi mamá el domicilio donde era ella la maid, mi mamá,
Ajá.
para que yo fuera a la escuela y mi mamá podía levantar y regresar a la casa donde estaba trabajando.
Oh, wow.
Pero cuando fui yo a esa escuela nadie hablaba español, no había maestros bilingües. So, yo recuerdo que nos montábamos en el autobús y guiábamos casi 2 horas de casa, en las tardes y en las mañanas. Pero por los primer año de escuela, mi mamá tuvo que buscar amigos, chicanos que vivían ahí cerca, que eran amigos de las familias de alrededor, ayudarme con mis tareas. Porque no había maestros de bilingüe.
Wow.
So, yo tuve que aprender el inglés, ahora sí a huevo. Y eso así fue, y luego pues allá en Los Ángeles la cultura mexicana es más fuerte, más...
Sí.
So, entre unos y los otros nos pudieron ayudar. Y ya cuando me fui para México, hice tercero y cuarto, ahí es cuando empiezas a leer y a escribir español.
Uh-huh.
Y así como me trataban en las escuelas aquí, me trataron, yo creo, hasta peor en México. Yo llegaba a la escuela y la maestra, ya todavía te pegaban, ponían los dedos así y te daban con las reglas.
Ay,
Y decían, a cada rato me decían, regresa a la escuelita donde regresaste. Puras cosas así. Y mi tío, el hermano de mi papá, él era como el secretario de las escuelas.
Uh-huh.
So, él supo de eso y él fue el que llegó a la escuela y habló con la maestra, pero fue algo difícil porque ahora yo sé leer y escribir el español. Bien.
Chido.
Pero fue a golpes.
Sí, a putazos.
A putazos. You know? Y mi mamá cuando supo que estaba pasando eso, ella sí se molestó y fue a la escuela y dijo, hey, así no se va a tratar esto, bla, bla, bla. Y pero sí, tuve que aprender el español. Ahí es donde aprendí a leer y a escribirlo bien. Y luego de ahí nos retachamos otra vez para Estados Unidos, pero esta vez fue en Texas, que es un poquito diferente que los mexicanos de Los Ángeles.
Sí.
Y aquí, pero el lugar donde yo he estado, la ciudad, era casi puros güeros, muy poco morenos. Había como 2 familias morenas, 2, 3 familias morenas. Y si no eras paisa, eras traidor. Y como yo jugaba fútbol americano, me gustaba siempre las artes de teatro y esto y el otro, me gustaba dibujar. Y muchos de los paisas, hermano, se cree bien creído. Mira, se cree bien creído el vato, no nos quiere hablar. Hay unos amigos que sí hablaba con ellos, pero sus novios eran bien paisas. Y son los que, uno, para una quinceañera, me sacó una navaja, teníamos como 16 años y una quinceañera, porque dice que, pues nomás es pinche idea de...
Yeah.
Yo estaba con ella, nomás platicando afuera, porque estaba oscuro y la güey, deberías ir para adentro. Y su novia, yo, ¿qué onda? ¿Quién sabe qué? ¿Qué te crees? Y, bájale. You know? Y pero siempre he dicho que he sido, cuando iba yo a la escuela con ellos, no era suficiente, como dicen ustedes, mexicano. Y era muy gringo, que hasta los gringos me pusieron que era un redneck Mexican. Porque me gustaba, ir a cazar,
Sí.
andar en mis pinches botas de fuera con los pantalones por dentro, porque la mayoría de mis amigos eran gringos. Pero porque la comunidad hispana sentía que no me aceptaba, you know. Y eso fue un poco difícil y eso siempre quería mimicar, hacer como ellos eran.
Yeah.
Mirarme como ellos, Pero durante la prepa, la high school, yo no me vestía así. Yo ya de los 15 años yo estaba montando caballos, yo era un jinete profesional de carreras.
¿Jockey?
Un jockey.
Órale. ¿15 años, cabrón?
A los 15 años.
Wow.
Y
Joven.
yo ya montaba caballos, pero la escuela nadie supo que yo montaba caballos hasta años después de que me gradué.
Oye, entonces empezaste temprana edad también a aventarte al mundo, o sea.
Yo desde morrillo, porque mi papá trabajaba en una tienda de alimento para animales. Uh-huh. Y una persona siempre llegaba, un viejito, y llegaba y decía, hey, porque yo cargaba las pacas de 3 hilos, de 80 libras, y las subía como si nada. Yo empezaba a hacer...
¿De dónde puedes, cabrón?
Y ahí se llenaba de 20. Y me decía, hey, estás fuerte, ¿quieres montar caballos? Y pues yo nací con problemas en mis pies.
Uh-huh.
Que
no te impide nada, cabrón.
No. Pero mis papás no me dejaban jugar fútbol americano. Yo cuando empecé a jugar nunca les dije nada hasta como mi tercer juego. Y cabrón, ¿qué estás haciendo? ¿Dónde estás? No, es que... Pero tus pies, no nos preocupen. Anyways, pero también los caballos. Y mi papá le dije, hey, pa, ¿me puedes llevar allá? Se me invitó aquí el señor que le monta unos caballos de carrera. Sí, pero no le digas a tu mamá. Tiempo después supimos que ese vato, el entrenador, se llama Sleepy Galbraith. Shout out to Sleepy. Ya tiene corta como unos 80 y tantos años, pero es un Hall of Famer.
Wow.
Entrenador de caballos de carreras. Sí. Y se fue el que me puso los caballos al principio.
Oye, pero quiero que también mencionar algo. Todos los que hemos andado en caballo, corte de milla o lo que sea, coméntanos qué es la diferencia de los cuartos de milla con estos thoroughbred de pura sangre, porque, o sea...
No, son una cosa...
Controlar ese poder a los 15 años... No manches.
Pesaba creo unos 80 libras, yo creo, en ese tiempo.
Pinche plumita.
Era no tener miedo. Y ahora sí, como dicen... Be one with the horse. No, pero neta, que you gotta be one with the horse. Like, ¿sabes? Decirle que tú estás en cargo, pero dejarlo también ser su trabajo y ser el animal que es.
Sí, pero es un animal de 1500 libras, cabrón, no más.
Y cuando te ayudaban a subir, ponían el que estaba contigo, estaba a un lado de ti, tú agarrabas, había uno que agarraba el caballo y el otro se ponía la mano así y ponías tu pie aquí y nomás te levantabas así, y ya nomás brincabas. Era como tu springboard. So, pero así empecé. Pero te digo, nadie supo que yo era, que montaba a caballo hasta años después. Años después. Y pues así empezó. Yo te digo, en ese pueblo, es un pueblo que es the capital of cutting horses de todo el mundo. Y empecé a limpiar establos, porque dejé de montar y mi mamá quería que yo fuera a la universidad, so me metí a la universidad. Y a chico rato, cuando quité la escuela, me fui yo para Los Ángeles. Y en Los Ángeles fue cuando saqué mi tarjeta profesional de jinete en Los Alamitos Racetrack, ahí cerca de Disneyland. So allí estuve, pero me gustaba mucho la bebida, la droga, y no pude quedarme mucho tiempo porque yo andaba perdido en el mundo todavía. Mi tía allá en California me dio quebrada. En ese tiempo tenía una casita chiquita, yo vivía allí en la sala. Ella tenía 4 hijos, y era muy difícil de yo estar allí. So, un camarada vino desde Texas, me fue a levantar y me trajo para atrás.
Órale, cabrón.
Pero te digo, es siempre, yo nunca he visto, yo siempre he sido orgulloso de ser mexicano, pero hubo un punto en mi vida donde quise dejarlo, de pucharlo para adentro.
Claro.
No. So, pero la cosa bonita que los amigos americanos con los que me juntaba, ellos estaban más proud que yo ahora sí, de ser emocionados de la cultura mexicana, que los invitaba a la casa, mi mamá enchiladas, tamales, y que para las posadas en diciembre mi mamá le gusta festejar todo eso. So, ellos llegaban, a mí todavía me tocó en México las posadas, con una hermosura, you know?
Sí.
Y so, ellos decían, más, ¿y por qué no? Tu cultura es rica. Y pues yo, es que... Y fue ahí donde te digo, años después, que empecé a mirar muchas fotos de cuando yo era niño vestido así, en nuestra ropa, en nuestro ser. Cuando dejé de tomar, que cambió todo. Que dije, ¿sabes qué? ¿Por qué por tanto tiempo he estado tímido de decir yo soy mexicano, pero como dices, también soy americano? Le doy gracias a esta nación por haberme recibido, que a veces se siente que no, pero yo sé que hay unas distintas partes que nos dicen, hey, estás bienvenido aquí.
Claro.
Yo tengo la historia, a mí me trajeron a los 4 años en una bolsa de militar, de mojado, en una Suburban Square Body. Y yo recuerdo todo eso, La segunda vez, también, por la frontera. Y son muchas cosas que a veces, yo decía, ¿por qué yo? Ahora digo, gracias a Dios me pasó a mí, porque me ha hecho la persona que soy.
No, y que también, además, cabe mencionar, hay personas que venimos para acá, que nos trajeron, pero con buenas intenciones. No podemos generalizar de que todos son buenos o todos son malos, no. Tanto como acá hay gente buena y mala, pero sí estaría bueno que la gente supiera de que pues venimos acá con una buena intención. No venimos a cagarla, como decimos,
hacer
¿sabes?
desmadre.
Ajá. Entonces, y además de que también, creciendo ya, pues ves a Estados Unidos como la nación estable. Pues, ¿cómo carajos no vas a querer ser parte de algo así cuando ves en las películas las yardas verdes preciosas, niños jugando con bicicletas y todo? Dices, ay, güey. Y me encanta México y todo, pero en su momento yo vivía en tierras en calles de tierra o de piedra y decía, chingada.
De allá quiero ser.
Ajá, entonces como que existe esa aspiración, ¿no? Pero pues nada pasa y pues aquí estamos. Que yo pienso, estaría bueno como mover un tanto al tema este de la comunidad y de cómo también nosotros nos desarrollamos de una manera... El resultado de la familia que tenemos y de la cultura, que es un tema que ya conocemos todos y es esto del modo survival mode.
Survival mode, yeah.
Que ustedes dijeron anterior, ¿para qué te vas a la foto, mijo?
Sí.
No vas a ganar dinero eso,
Sí.
no te va a dar para vivir. ¿O para qué? ¿Para qué te vas a actuar? ¿Quién te crees? John Travolta o qué chingados, o sea. Entonces, dices, chingado, ¿qué les pasó que dejaron esos sueños o por qué? Y pues la respuesta es en este tema, que podemos discutir. Está cabrón el survival mode. It's a really interesting topic to all of those Latinos that are listening. We get passed down some guilt and some pressure and some issues we did not even ask for. Anxiety that I mean, how many times we've been sitting down enjoying an evening, taking photos and pinche huevón, what are you doing? You're not doing anything. Like, wow, do you even know how to relax, man? Right?
Yeah.
No, I think
Nomás se relajan con es la siesta en mediodía.
Yeah.
I think that's huge, you know, and because again, I can go back to that, and all this goes back to nuestros jefitos, you know, gracias a Dios por todo lo que hicieron, you know, todo lo que ellos han hecho, especialmente en mi vida. Te digo, yo nunca les he reprochado, hey, why did you bring me over here with no papers in the back of a square body? No, never, because to me, they did, and they've done, and they continue to do everything that they could, and they've lived in survival mode for so long in their lives that all they knew was to work.
Yeah.
And the things that they know...
That's strong.
The things that they know is... that's the only things they know, because that's the only thing they've learned. They don't know more than that.
I mean...
You know, and so... To me, you know... Never did I ever blame my parents. And this is kind of like a real touchy subject for me. I love the subject, but it just takes me back to a moment in my life. So my father was an alcoholic for a long time, and my mother, she had, you know, like a spitting habit. And they never messed me up, you know, because they did what they could. But every morning we would wake up for school, we would get woken up by yelling and screaming. Vámonos, vámonos, apúrense, levántense, ya estamos tarde de la escuela, vámonos, vámonos. Ay, otra vez.
It's like...
Man, for a long time.
Waking up, man.
For a long time. Like, I can't be around situations like that anymore.
Yeah.
Because I see red.
Yeah.
But I don't blame them. Like, my mother walked the desert for a week. My father walked the desert for 2 weeks. And because of them, I am the man that I am today. And so I don't blame any of that, you know, and it's not guilt that comes back. It's being appreciative. My father, he was like the black sheep of his family, and 10 brothers and sisters, and 5 of them have passed, and he hasn't been there, but he gave all that up to give me the life that I have today. So that selflessness can't go unseen.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of our families do that. And it's tough because it's like my grandmother, she passed when I was 15, and I don't even know where she's buried. tough, you know, because like me, I'm still working on getting my papers and just, I don't know, it just gets me emotional, you know? Because they did what they could. And for a long time I was drunk and I was pissing that away. But they're getting older, and so it's up to us to really focus on remaining in our culture, on helping them and understanding them and showing compassion to why they're the way that they are. Because they have been in survival mode. And being patient with them. When my dad used to ask, ¿vas a ser actor, hijo? Like,
¿Estás loco? Okay.
Yeah. You know? Now he understands it. He sees it because for a long time he wanted to be an artist.
Yeah.
He loves to draw. So now he understands the sacrifice that he did.
Yeah.
For his son to be creative.
Yeah.
And so I think it's important for us Latino kids, Latino Mexicans, it don't matter, just immigrants, just understand that our parents gave up so much to give us the life that we have now, that it's not fair for us to forget our culture and where we come from, because they did sacrifice so much.
Yeah.
But we can't hold that against them. We got to be understanding and compassionate and say, jefe, yo entiendo, jefe. Ya no necesitas que estar enojado. It's okay. Ya pasó. I forgive you.
Yeah.
I forgive you. Ma, no te preocupes, ya no vas a limpiar casas. Va a estar bien.
Yeah.
You know, but I think that starts with realizing where we come from and touching our roots and who we are, to be able to touch those subjects, because we can sit here and blame them, but there's no point in that.
No, I mean,
there's no point in that.
It's not going to go anywhere, yeah.
It's not going to go anywhere.
It'll never go anywhere.
But we have to understand them, but the best way to be compassionate, a nosotros nos agarraban a fregadazos, but we can't do that with them. That's where we change things. That's where we break generation curses. I quit drinking, so guess who quit drinking? My father did, after he told me that, oh, mijo, yo intenté eso y no me sirvió para mí. Guess what, though? Now he's 4 years sober.
Heck yeah.
My brother's sober. But it starts with us. Maybe they couldn't do it, but they give us a start to break those generational curses.
Yeah. I mean, we are such an inspiration. And I love something that you mentioned on that. We somehow, Mace, we are the reflection of, because we're a part of them.
Yeah.
Right? We came from them.
Yeah.
Like, don't forget that. So, in some hidden area in that DNA, she wanted to be an actor. He wanted to be a photographer. You know, like things like that. So, by us being able and fortunate enough and to be more outgoing and having the time and the courage to pursue this, we're honoring them.
Yeah.
You know, like same in that topic. Like when I told my mom, I'm gonna be in a movie. What? Yeah. Well, I'm sure you're gonna nail it. And I'm like, but then, do you want to know more? I'll see it, but I know that you're gonna give your 100%, and it takes a moment to recognize that, because when I first heard it, I was hurt.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you want to be part of? Why don't you want to know more of what I'm doing?
Yeah, about my goals and aspirations.
Yeah. But then you grow older and you realize, I trust you. I trust you're gonna do your best.
Mm-hmm.
And at the time you don't realize that.
Mm-mm.
And so I was like, that makes no sense. And then now I'm like, holy moly. Like they trusted me that I was gonna give my 100%.
Yeah.
Then the I guess the satisfaction is whenever they see the results. Man, I'm sure that our moms and our parents do that. She will, no sé cómo se dice en inglés, pero te presume como hijo.
Oh, sí.
Este es mi hijo.
Sí,
Yeah.
sí.
Look at that campaign.
Mira
Arturo
lo que hizo,
did it.
mira lo que hizo.
Like the other day, my mom, I call her and like, hey, how you doing, mom? Oh, I'm in the tianguis. Okay. What are you doing? I'm just showing them your movie and some of the photos that you took. Like,
What?
in the tianguis? Yeah, I'm buying groceries from them. And tianguis, for those who doesn't know, is like street market.
Yeah.
Engraved in our traditions, big time. But it's a bunch of like random people.
Yeah.
Like, it's not that you know them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Mom, like, you're talking to a stranger. Yeah, because I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll call you in a minute.
I'm gonna cry. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's funny that you bring that up because for me it was the same thing. Like a great example is like when I got my like that Nikon deal. For me, it was like, damn, this is crazy, this is exciting, and I told my parents, and like you said, at that moment I was hurt because their first response is, pero ¿qué días vas a faltar el del trabajo? ¿Cuándo vas a trabajar entonces? And to me, I was like, I'm over here trying to tell you good news, you know what I mean? Like, can I get a congratulations or something? But now that I look back at it, it's like, you know, they might have not said that, but through their actions, they showed that they're like, yo ya sé que mi hijo va a hacer lo mejor que pueda para seguir adelante. So it was always one of those things where it's like, you know, to me, I felt bad, but now that I was able to step back and like realize how they grew up and, you know, they were never allowed the space to pursue that.
Yeah.
They were never allowed to do like and fulfill whatever goals they have, even to this day, because they're always in survival mode. So me being able to step back and see that, it's like, okay, like me preguntaron eso no porque no me querían o es que no sabían cómo decirte hey, felicidades.
Exacto.
Porque nunca lo han escuchado ellos.
Yeah.
Uf, no, man.
So it's always like, it's that little moment. I'm like, okay, now that I'm older, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it. So.
And you tidying up with that comment too, growing up, at least from what I'm hearing, we all share that, and many others of you guys out there, Hispanics or non-Hispanic, there is going to be an anxiety passed down to us just at the first light of the day. Oh, you're late. So now I have a hard time to slow down and to relax because of that. Yeah. Like, my mom did the same thing, and I love you, Mom, but like she doesn't know how to stop. You know, it's so hard. Like, no para, cabrón. No, and then her arm might be like, oh, pinche chueco ya todo torcido. Yeah. Pero somehow, and it's like, stop. Like, you're not a machine. Yeah. But that comes down with that survival mode of generationally. In Mexico, we have been, screw it, like, but let's bring it up as it is. Abused for more than 500 years. Yeah. So that's engraved in our, like, we're never enough. That's being passed down through generations, guys. Yeah. Through many generations, not only your parents. So this comes down to, like, we haven't belittled, offended, violated, exploited, and then we still have, like, oh, we're not enough. We're not güeros enough, you know, to be that Mexican, or whatever. Like, for some people here, if they have the belief that I'm European, they're cool with it. Oh, but once I say I'm Mexican, it's like, no, I don't believe you. Yeah. Like, what? Yeah. So I guess what I also want to get to is, like, okay, so our parents have that passed down as well. So that anxiety of, are we going to have enough to pay the bills? Yeah. Mm-hmm. Are we going to have enough to provide for our kids? Am I going to be hired in the next year? Because many of the works that in construction and in ranching and construction as well, we're conditioned to, like, the demand. Yeah. Mm-hmm. If there is no economic, then there is no remote relations. Yeah. If there is no flow, cash of money or whatever, like, then there is no patio being built. Yeah. If there is no money, then people don't eat because meat is expensive. Yeah. So it's just like we're so conditioned, and we somehow envy some of the most established nations or group of people that they figured out, oh, I don't have to worry because generationally I already laid out for my future generations. Mm-hmm. no shit, that must be nice. Because I don't know, like, I want to have kids, and I don't even know, like, I'm working towards having something for them. Yeah. But whenever you meet this other group of people that we all know, it's like, oh, you don't have to work? Oh, so you don't have to, like, give the extra mile? No. My dad already has a company. Or, you know, they have this thing going on. It's really, it shocks with me. And for a while, I had not enviness, I had angerness. Yeah. Because how life is so unfair. You know, and early, or like starting when my dad passed and then some things happened, we lose our home. And that's a sensitive topic that I haven't even shared with the world, but we lose our ranch, right? And to be hit by life at that early stage in life, fuck, man, you're like starting living. Yeah. You think you're unstoppable, and then all of a sudden, the government says like, "Oh, this is not your home anymore."
Sorry.
Like, who are you? I never see you before in my life. Like, no, out. What? Well, let me gather. No. You got 12 hours to get your things out. What? So we had our personal belongings thrown to the street, the cattle, the horses thrown to the street, and then blocked off. Damn. So we woke up in a ranch, and we slept on trucks on the streets. So all of that, to see other people that they don't have to worry about it, it made me anger. Like, why? And then even coming to the U.S., the first time that I get to experience racism, I was like, what is this that I'm living? What is this that I'm feeling right now? Yeah. What are they treating me like that? Yeah. Oh. And I'm not saying that in Mexico doesn't exist racism. Yeah. It is there too. But to get to experience it, it was like, wow, this thing sucks. Like, wow. So the unfairness that we might have had lived, and our families might have had lived, it has affected how they interact. But it comes down to us to break that pattern. Yeah. I don't want to pass down that angerness. Yeah, I want for my kids to be aware that, like the song says, that's life. You know, it's so unpredictable. But what we have to be in control is how you're facing it, how you're facing the storm, how you're facing rain. You can run for shelter, or heck, just get wet. As well, you know how it's to be dry. Get wet. You know, so I think that's my take on this topic, because it's hard, and to be in from a working family. You can share with us how is that experience for you as well, like that survival mode active in your family.
Yeah, I mean, growing up, it was mi dad siempre andaba trabajando, los que los cuidaba fue mi ma, so it was always like, I don't want to say I didn't grow up with a father, because I did. He did everything I can, but like the younger stages, it was always
he was busy.
Yeah, 5 in the morning to like 6, 7 p.m. at night, he was working, you know, hauling ass. So by the time he got home, it was, voy a comer y me voy a dormir porque estoy cansado. So like he was there, but he wasn't there. And maybe for a while, I was like, damn, like, do you not care about us? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, resentment. Yeah. There was a lot of resentment, but I've come to learn that, like, specifically, like, when it comes to, like, foreign fathers, or, like, for us, Mexican fathers, it's like, nunca te van a decir que te aman, pero te lo van a enseñar. Not like, déjame sacar todas las movies, you know? It was always, a mí nunca me faltaba nada creciendo. My dad, I wanted something, my dad quietly bust his ass to make sure 2-3 weeks later I had whatever I needed. So it was like, they never told me I love you, but it was always, me lo enseñaron con lo que hacían. Even my mom too, you know, she always made sure I had food, I was always eating. ¿Tienes hambre? ¿Qué te hago? But it was never, oh, hijo, te quiero, or none of that, just because even my grandpa, my grandma, they just growing up, I never saw that. It was never like, oh, hijo, ¿cómo estás? Like, the only time you get a hug is cuando ibas a una fiesta. Cuando se estaban conociendo, hey, ¿cómo estás, carnal? ¿Cómo te va?
Yeah.
And it was like, always, it was always there, but it wasn't there. And now that I'm older, like you said, like, you know, you have compassion and you begin to understand when you allow yourself to go back and see what was missing in their life that didn't allow that to happen. So like us moving forward, I think we're in a very unique position to where maybe the newer generation doesn't see it because their parents are, you know, born American and they have a different hustle now that's coming up. And our parents, it was a labor hustle. It's levántate y chingale. So like we're like in between that bridge where like we know about it and we grew up seeing that and receiving, I guess, the parental aspect of that. And then for us, like, we're in between that gap of like, do we allow it to happen again? Or do we change and we allow ourselves, not even for ourselves, but for our parents to finally have that space to pursue a creative passion or any passion that they had and allow the next generation to see that and be like, hey, it's okay, man. You don't got to be a robot. You know what I mean? Like, we're not robots.
That, my friend.
You know, like I every time I'm like when I'm with my dad at work, because we do stock, we spray walls with cement. Like, it's always producción, hey, make me money, let's make money, chingale. Yeah. I'm like, Dad, man, look at me miro como un robot, ¿o qué? Like, que soy máquina, ¿o qué? La máquina ya está, no soy yo, like, me canso. Sí. So it's like us being able not only to teach the new generation, but the old generation to be like, hey,
vocalize it.
Hey, because you vocalize it and they, hey, ¿qué dijiste? Hey, no sabes de lo que hablas, mejor calladito. So it's like, no. It's like, no quiero pelear contigo, platicar. Eso se puede platicar sin que nadie se enoje. So it's teaching them that, because I feel like that the old generation is just like, hey, eres mi hijo, eres mi hija, hey, calladito y haz lo que tienes que hacer. So I think we're definitely in a very unique spot to where not only can we inspire the new generation, but show and allow the old generation to like
the understanding.
Yeah, hey, relájate, ya te puedes relajar.
Yes, and also enjoy it too, because like, man, come on. At the end, I think that's something that is very strong here. They work all their lives. So they're pursuing like, when I retire.
No.
Wow, you're gonna be broken when you retire, and you're gonna be paying all of these things like later. So I think by showing them like, you can still work hard and make profit from other activities. Yeah. Because that's something that our generation learned more, diversification.
Yeah.
Like, man, we were talking about that. We're construction workers. I'm a rancher. I do construction as well. I do leather work. I do all of these things, right? And every little thing brings you something. So it's like, oh, I can be in the 9 to 5, but I got these other little things.
Yeah, all these other side hustles that
some people make fortunes out of caps or like shirts, and it's like, wow, there is options, you know? Yeah. So I think we got that. And then one of the last topics, because I think we might need to wrap it up soon, is the debt, unspoken debt that our family expects from us, and that we carry it, that we will never be able to pay.
Yeah. I mean, you guys, we kind of talked about it a little bit as I was hearing you guys talk. It's just like the survival mode that we're in and all the sacrifices they made. Now that we're older, we realize that, and we're like, you did all that for me? How can I repay you back? You know what I mean? And I think that's like you said, it's that debt where it's unspoken. It's, unless you live it, you're never going to really see it. Yeah. And it's like, okay, you did all this, and now let me take care of you now. Like, you can relax, because all you know is the hustle. You know, hey, labor work is pretty much what they grew up on. Is like, hey, let me go 5 in the morning en el rancho, cosechar, sembrar, lo que sea. Yeah. And it's like, look, let me show you a new way. You don't got to work as hard, but you can make more money. They're like, ¿what? ¿Quieres ser actor y te van a pagar más? Nah, estás loco. ¿Quieres ser fotógrafo y vas a ganar más que yo haciendo construcción? Estás loco. Pero es, hey, déjame, te voy a enseñar.
Yeah.
And it's just being able to tell them, like, hey, like, there's different ways to do it. And I think it's all goes back to they sacrifice so much to give us that opportunity. So it's almost like we feel like, and we do owe them something, because it's like,
Yeah.
if you can sit here and be like, oh, I don't know my parents or anything. It's like,
No.
you look in the mirror and really sit back to see who you are and where you're at and what you have. Why is that?
Yeah. It's a direct influence.
Yeah. It's the generation before.
That debt, you know,
Yeah.
that's not talked about, but it's there. That's it, you know. And I think that's the best way to do it. You know, we'll get some comments. Oh, nunca nos has hecho esto, nunca nos has dado mucho, blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
we've got to understand that comes from a survival mode mindset, and we can't take that to heart.
Yeah. I mean, at the end, who we are to judge.
I'm not saying don't let it hurt. It's gonna hurt,
Ugh.
but
And then something like you mentioned too, when you make it, let's just say you make a gig, and you make 5K in a day. There is that also. We spoke about this on this unspoken thing that is like, you made 5K. You know, like, hey, are you gonna share some with me? It's like,
Yeah.
of course I want to, but it's like,
the way that I look at that, is, and I tell them, I say, listen, I'll make this much, but I need that much, so I can double this much to this much, and then when I double that, then I'll be able to give you some.
yeah.
But I need that full amount to do this.
Okay, that's the finance
Finance
guy.
guy,
talking,
yeah,
like,
that's the finance guy.
I can even like, yes,
Yeah,
and I
no.
just go and buy
So that's
something
why.
that is
Well,
gonna
that's
work.
why, you know, because I talk to my mom about everything. Like my mom's like, she knows everything.
Yeah.
How much I'm, you know, she knows everything about my life.
I mean, they're the most confiding,
Right, so-
beside of our loved ones too, partners.
I'm like, hey, she's like, how's work going? And then one day she asked me, how much did you make? I was like, well, this is how much I made. That, not like you said, you know? But that's where I come and explain to her and say, hey, listen, I can give you some. I can give you much. But I got to use that to double this.
Yeah,
Once I double that, then I'll give you more.
yeah,
But if you let me keep this, trust me, that the next thing will take care of you.
Yeah.
And I think mostly my mom, she understands it now.
okay.
Oh, okay. You know, but at first it was like, hijo, what you making that day? That's what I'm making the whole week, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it goes back to that same thing, is they never do anything else. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
They don't know that, hey, there's money to be made on that side. And if it is, it's like you said, like, they'll see it. And a lot of it's like, you know, for at least my parents, is always like, guarda. But it's like, they never really knew. It's like, hey, instead of having 10 G's in the bank, put those 10 G's in a business venture and 10X it. And now you're set.
Yeah.
But for them, they're like, oh, it's 10 G's. I don't know if I want to
Yeah,
risk it.
it's
Yeah,
risky.
I don't want to risk it.
You know what I did for that money?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I did for that
Yeah.
money? You really think I'm going to go put it over there and trust somebody?
Just in case, yeah.
That's
You
our
never know.
parents.
Yeah. So it's like, now for us, it's like, look, I get the risk, but the way you know, I grew up was because of you. Hey, me enseñaste a trabajar y a chingarle. Y no me voy a rajar.
No.
And guess what? Those 10 G's, I don't care, but it's going to work.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make it work.
Yeah.
Just you wait and see.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I might get a hiccup, a little bump on the road. Hey, pero no me voy a rajar, le voy a seguir para adelante.
Yeah.
Salga
That
como
right
salga.
there- That right there, though, is the mixed ingredient for a lot of kids these days, though. Why I say that? We might have not grown up with the finance aspect of things, but we grew up with the aspect que le vamos a chingar y no nos vamos a rajar.
Yeah.
Con eso ya la tenemos ganada. Ahora aprendemos the finance end of it, the financial freedom. We learn that aspect, and we include it cuando no nos vamos a rajar. There's nothing that can stop us.
Oh, yeah.
True, and let's make a remark that also the system has changed.
Yeah.
Because
Oh,
we're able
yeah.
to tap into some new, you know, like kind of aspects of places that we can make money. I mean, I never thought that I was gonna be involved in any acting or modeling because I thought that that's only for certain type of people. So that's really quite interesting. Then seeing that how it works to me is like, okay, I'm glad that all of this is working out because none of us would have had that change if the system wouldn't be allowed to be more diverse, to be more open, because we also hit a plateau of ideas. These guys that was in control or big corporations, there's only so long that you can recycle ideas.
Yep.
But if you break that and allow others to bring, here we are, bringing our part. So I think it's time to wrap it up. For our friends in the videos and all of this social media, make sure that you follow Mace
Elias and Adventures of the Feathered Indian.
Yep. And Arturo.
Arturo, it's _ Arturo for Instagram. So
Okay, so this is the first series.
Y'all check out, before you forget, y'all check out his product.
Oh yeah.
Look at this. Look at this.
I don't know if you guys can see it, but like right here.
Oh yeah, some huarache slides.
Huarache slides.
Hold on, I got there's somebody calling me.
Oh, hello?
Hello?
Oh, yeah, gotta check out the huarache slides.
Yeah.
These are
So
badass.
this is
We're about to make these go everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Everybody's
Please
gonna be wearing
do.
these.
Yeah, promote them.
So
This is the first conversation or the first sessions that we will have. We're gonna try to promote this more. Go over there to Fort Worth, Weatherford, Dallas, whatever, and try to bring more community together through these conversations. This is an untraditional like conversations. I don't want to see it like a podcast. It's more conversación con amigos.
Sí.
So we have some peanuts classic in the Mexican culture. So and we are this time on Raíces Vivas and Studio Casillas headquarters. So maybe next time we'll visit Arturo. Maybe next time we'll visit Mace. Como sea, síganos, follow us in our adventures. It's worth it. We're far from being like quiet people.
Yeah. It's only the beginning for whatever new ventures come along.
and just wait. I think we found the three amigos.
Yeah. And pursue. Like whatever you do, just pursue and then get wet and get in the rain and enjoy life. I think that's something that we
that's
share.
a big thing. Enjoy life, relax, and
pursue your dreams.
Yeah.
Well, amigos, stay cool, be well.
See ya.
See ya.